yes, did qualify for the CAF playoffs, sneaking in from the back door. Some people have said it's not fair. We should be ashamed of ourselves that we're celebrating. We don't deserve to qualify or to even be in the playoffs. It's a shame CAF and FIFA, did this. And Burkina Faso, that's a player of Burkina Faso, also, that's Steve Yago, also bared his mind, and he's not happy, and a lot. And that's a big question I'm going to be asking in this particular video. Was CAF and FIFA fair to the rest of the teams that participated in the qualifying race? Were they fair to them? And was it the right thing with Eritrea pulling out and you now want to pick the second best placed teams, and you had to say, okay, let's balance it up, and so that it will be fair when you want to pick? Because if you're looking at Eritrea and the teams that did not play against Eritrea because they pulled out, won't they be disadvantaged, or are they going to get boardroom points because Eritrea pulled out? Was this law or rule there before now? A lot of people are not happy, including veteran journalist Charles Anazodo, who said Nigeria should not be celebrated. It's a shame, and that we are now celebrating mediocrity, so to speak. Welcome to my channel this wonderful day. My name is AY Sugar, and I want to really talk about this development, and with a lot of people not happy. But I'll have my own opinion or view about the whole journey for Nigeria. Yeah, so first off, we'll look at those who have said it wasn't fair, especially the two key people I've mentioned. We'll start with this player who plays for Burkina Faso. He says, his name is Steve Yago, and he says, Burkina Faso defender Steve Yago has voiced his displeasure with the World Cup qualification format, suggesting it unfairly favored Nigeria in advancing ahead of his team. A touch of frustration there. Clearly, the Eagles qualification didn't sit well with him, and that was something put together by Brilla FM. But now let's look at what he said in this quote. He said, honestly, it's strange. You win your games against the weakest team in your group, yet Nigeria is ahead of you, even though they haven't beaten Zimbabwe, who are the bottom place side in Group C. Apparently, beating the bottom team is too mainstream. Thank you, CAF and FIFA. My career is nearing its end, so I'll start studying the system to criticize you properly soon. Burkina Faso defender Steve Yago has expressed his frustration with the World Cup qualifier playoffs qualification format. What do you think about this? For me, I understand how you will feel after playing the weakest team in your group, hoping to take advantage of it, hoping to use it to, finish, at a very comfortable stage. Do your best, fly your team down to the country, play them, and all that. Maybe if I want to be fair as well, I would say from beginning, since Eritrea pulled out about 2 years ago, they should have said, okay, but how would they say it? Because it's going to also be very difficult for the organizers to say if you tell them at that time, if you tell them, I'm sure most teams will not consider flying to those countries to play them away games or even prepare for their home games. They will ignore it. So, but they came midway, to say this is how it's going to work, especially when most of those teams have played the bottom place sides. So, but it is not the fault of the organizers, because they just didn't know what to do that would be at least 60% fair. And for the teams that participated and feel aggrieved or disgruntled, they also, yes, of course, if it happened to Nigeria, for instance, if we had beaten Zimbabwe 6 home and away, which we wanted to do, which we're now thanking God we did not, would have also said yes, because we said we're still talking recently. A lot of us are still talking around to say, wow, what put us where we are, or what we found ourselves before the end of the group qualifiers was the loss of 2 points to Zimbabwe at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. That late equalizer shouldn't have happened. Nigeria would have been in a better position. We wouldn't have been in the situation we found ourselves at the end of the qualifiers. So now we did not win. It's a blessing in disguise for us now. So it's kind of mixed. It's mixed feeling for me. as a journalist of 22 years, so I understand how he feels. And but there was a rule prior to now, so even at least teams started knowing, or teams got the communique or memo from March 2025. So you know. So even if you've not played the team, which is the bottom place side in your group, you know that, okay, this will be a useless point after all. So but we need to honor it, because not honoring it would also affect us from the boardroom. We'll get sanctioned, disciplinary committee will sit and of course come for us. We may even be bundled out of the tournament. So that's how it is, unfortunately. Now let's look at what veteran journalist Charles Anazodo said earlier today regarding Nigerians who are celebrating, and how he believes that we shouldn't have celebrated. Okay, let's go to that one. Now let's leave Steve Yago and go to what veteran Nigerian journalist Charles Anazodo said, following the celebration that hit the streets of Nigeria. He said Nigeria should be ashamed celebrating a playoff place considering our opponents in Group C, despite all of our so-called quality. South Africa, with 100% home-based players, got the job done even with 3 points deducted. Remember, the playoff is twofold and assurances is very limited. Nigeria doesn't deserve to be at the World Cup. Eritrea pulling out of the qualifiers and the ridiculous decision to deduct points from all teams has denied hard-working nations an opportunity of participation. I don't expect you to agree with me. Boom. Well, I don't agree, Oga Charles. I don't agree with you. For me, I have a different view. Yes, we are star-studded. Yes, we have a team that on paper should blow any team away on the continent of Africa, and not just in Africa, outside Africa. But we didn't start well. We had in fact, we fumbled and wobbled even into the playoffs until the last game. That was where we can say we played better. But we dealt with a lot of things. We had 3 managers that managed this particular qualifiers. We had Jose Pesero, who just did the first 2 games. The next 2 games was by Coach Finidi George, who came in. And Finidi George lost 1, drew 1 South Africa. That's 1-1 against South Africa, 2-1 in Abidjan to Benin. So then we got Eric Schell in. Eric Schell came in January 2025, took in a new team, had to understand, of course, what was going on, had to also try to put in his own philosophy. Started with a win away from home, the first win that we recorded in the qualifying series. Went to Rwanda, played a 2-0 win, came back to Nigeria, played a 1-0 draw against Zimbabwe, and the journey, continued. And it was not good. It was not good at all. And like a lot of people said in the whole drama on X and everywhere on social media, a lot of people have said it's not the first time a big country with stars like Ronaldo, Sweden, stars like Ronaldo for Portugal, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for Sweden, and a whole lot more struggled, and had to play playoffs to qualify, for the World Cup, despite having stars, in their kitty. Unfortunately, they had to go through that route, so it happens, especially because we've not managed to have a manager that stayed, that's, totally taking command, put his philosophy down, everybody runs with it. We've not had that, so we had our stars just running everywhere, trying to understand the new philosophy of the coach, changing a philosophy of Pesero to Finidi's philosophy, and now to Eric Schell's philosophy. It's nobody's business, but it was our journey. That was how it went. And we've had worst case scenarios of teams like Denmark who never qualified, and just, I'm sure the players had, totally left their bases, left the camp. They were done with the qualifiers. They didn't qualify in 1992. And what happened? They just said, okay, let's go back to our clubs and let's go and enjoy ourselves. Only for them to get a call back and say, guys, where are you? Yugoslavia, because of war, We're removing them from this tournament. Denmark, put your ass together. Wherever you are, get back to camp. We're going all the way to England for the Euros. And what did they do? They got to the Euros. They won the Euros. The same team that did not qualify for that Euros. So we've had teams like that. So for Nigeria, it's not our fault that FIFA also deducted the point, you know, with Eritrea pulling out. It wasn't our fault. And we just had to take the chance, you understand? So everybody would look at the opportunity they can take. Burkina Faso should have scored more goals or should have done better, but they did not. Nigeria also would have even missed out, but we needed a fourth goal. We scored it when we needed it. So I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it that way. Yes, you can call me biased, but I know that I've looked at it without bias. Every other team, you know, just like the Hugo Bruce case when, you know, he started talking about the points deducted and everything. I said every other team will lash in on it, will take the opportunity, take the advantage, and you take it and you get away with it. You don't now stay there and say, oh, I'm pitying you. It's a dog-eat-dog world. So if we didn't qualify, yes, would have been ruining it right now, would have been biting at national teeth. But we did qualify for the playoffs to fight again and to fight and give it everything and see if we can make it out of Africa and down all the way to Mexico. Well, that's how I see it. I'll look forward to reading from you in the comment section. I'm looking forward to that and engaging you in this particular hot debate. And looking at what Steve Yago said, was it fair to Burkina Faso? Do you think it's fair? Or do you also go with what Charles Anazodo, a veteran Nigerian journalist, has said, that why are we celebrating? Is it worth celebrating? Are we not ashamed of ourselves? You know, what do you think about this? Please do subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. And I'll see you in another video. I remain AY Sugar. I'll see you in another one. Bye-bye.